Greetings from Arizona. This is Tony Kuiper. The TKActions V6 panel is made of 4 separate modules: RapidMask2, CX and Combo, which contain the same functions, and Batch. In this video, I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the major features of the RapidMask2 module and review the masking workflow it makes possible. The RapidMask2 module is a real-time mask generator where users see the actual masks as they're created. It has 4 main sections: Source, Mask, Modify, and Output. Generally, users will start at the top and work to the bottom as they create and deploy their masks. The first step in making a mask is always to select the data source. This is the pixel-based data that is used in the calculations to create and modify masks. In order to make standard luminosity masks, simply click the Composite button. However, luminosity masks are now just one type of pixel-based mask that the module can generate. Other pixel-based values from channel data, color, and saturation and vibrance can be accessed as easily as luminosity using this module. If you want to make a mask based on color, for example, a channel mask or a color mask will probably work best. If you're trying to adjust saturation, then a saturation or a vibrance mask would be the best choice. There's no need to open additional modules or different interfaces for these different sources. All the possible masks are available all the time right from this one module. Choosing any source creates 2 new channels on the Channels panel: LumLock and RapidMask. LumLock contains the current pixel data for the image and is used to generate the RapidMask. The initial RapidMask channel is a Lights 1 mask of the chosen data source and is displayed on screen. Since the Composite button was clicked in this case, this on-screen mask is a standard Lights 1 luminosity mask. The Layers panel remains unchanged and uncluttered with new layers as masks are generated. And unlike older panels, the V6 RapidMask engine only requires these 2 channel masks. While channel masks do require extra memory, 2 channel masks will have little, if any, effect on overall computer efficiency. And they make possible very rapid calculations, so masks viewed by the user can be updated at near real-time speeds. Once a source has been selected, it's time to choose the most appropriate mask using the Mask section of the module. This section is broken down into the familiar darks, lights, midtones, and zones that were initially used to describe luminosity masks. However, these categories no longer apply to just luminosity masks in the RapidMask2 module. This entire spectrum of masks is available for any source that has been selected in the Source section. So, taking an example from a previous video, if the source is Vibrance, which selects unsaturated pixels, this initial vibrance mask can be further refined using the Lights mask to be narrower and more specific. Even a vibrance zone mask can now be created using the zone buttons. And in that previous video, I recommended using a zone 9 or zone 8.5 mask as a good choice for boosting saturation of unsaturated colors. So just like the source section is no longer limited to just making luminosity masks, neither is the mask section. This entire spectrum of masks, lights, darks, midtones, and zones, now become available for any pixel-based mask source. I'm going to go back and use the composite source for making standard luminosity masks to demonstrate one more feature in the mask section, and that's the pick button. Since there are 21 different zone masks available, it's sort of hard to know which one to pick to target a specific tone in the image. But the pick button has this covered. Simply click Pick and then choose a tone by clicking on the image. The panel automatically chooses the nearest matching zone from the image and displays that mask on screen, and then highlights the corresponding zone button on the module. You can play around with adjacent zones to see if you like them better, but the Pick button makes finding the starting zone much easier. Once you've chosen the source and the mask in the previous sections, you can now modify the mask even further in the Modify section. Curves and levels are probably the two most popular choices. With curves, for example, you can easily increase mask contrast by creating an S-curve, which helps decrease the gray transition zone in the mask. I'll undo that in order to show that levels is also really useful. The midtone slider allows you to contract the selection by pulling to the right and expand it by pulling left. It's also possible to expand the black areas by pulling the shadow slider to the right and expand the white areas by pulling the highlight slider to the left. For advanced users, there's the mask calculator. I usually leave the Advanced Mask Calculator checkbox checked because it allows additional mask modification during the calculation process. For example, if I want to make a mask that selects the light, warm colors in the clouds, the orange parts, I could start by clicking the Composite button to create a Lights 1 luminosity mask. But since I want the warm colors, I need to remove the cool colors from the mask. The mask calculator makes this easy. To subtract, simply click the minus button. Then create the mask that needs to be subtracted. In this case, a blue color mask will select the cooler colors. I can modify this mask to make the blue colors even brighter in the mask by clicking the A button to activate an Auto Levels command on this mask. Now that I've created the mask of colors I want to subtract, I simply click the Equal button to complete the calculation. And now the warm and light colors are the lightest areas in the mask. It's a pretty good selection of the orange clouds, but some of the mountains have been included also. But remember, everything is happening in real time on the actual mask with the RapidMask2 module. So it's possible to also paint directly on the on-screen mask to modify it. The Combo or CX module makes this easy, since it has buttons for black and white paintbrushes. So if I don't want the mountains to be included in the mask, they're easy to remove. Click the black paintbrush from the CX module, set the opacity to 100%, and then simply paint out the mountains. And now, by clicking back and forth between the mask and the image, using the image and mask buttons designated by I and M on the module, it's possible to see how this process has made a very nice selection of the orange clouds in the sky. Once the mask is complete, it's time for output, and the RapidMask2 module again provides several options. The Layer button is one of the best. It takes the current Rapid Mask and outputs it on the Layers panel according to the menu item. The top part of the menu is all adjustment layers. Clicking Curves, for example, creates that adjustment layer with the Rapid Mask as the layer mask. The Properties panel then automatically opens, and I can use it to add a bit of contrast and saturation to the glowing sunset clouds. By inactivating the mask, it's possible to see how this mask is perfectly directing this adjustment to the desired parts of the image. Below the adjustment layers are some normal pixel layer output options. These create the corresponding pixel layer, again with the rapid mask as the layer mask. They also set up the tools needed for that layer. For example, if I create a dodge layer in order to lighten some areas in the image, in addition to creating the correct layer with the correct mask and the correct blending mode, the brush tool has been selected, and so has the appropriate paint color for dodging, which is white. It's just necessary to adjust the opacity and brush size and start painting. In this case, I'll use a brush around 25% opacity to add some light to these pinkish clouds. The mask is controlling where the paint is revealed, so even if I accidentally brush over the blue clouds, they're not affected. I'm going to delete this layer mask in order to show an alternative to the layer button, and that's the apply button. It can also be used to add the current rapid mask as a layer mask to any layer. However, it's usually easier to use the layer button to create both the layer and the mask simultaneously, as long as the desired layer is part of this menu. The Apply button only adds the rapid mask to a layer that is already present on the Layers panel. Notice that as I've used the various output options, I've not had to remake the rapid mask. The one that was created is still present on the Channels panel. As long as there is a rapid mask channel, all the different output options in the Output section can be executed using that mask. So if I want to make a selection from this rapid mask, I can simply click the Selection button and the mask is loaded as an active selection. It's not necessary to view the mask first. The Selection button knows to find the rapid mask and load it as a selection. Remember though that selections are always 8-bit by default, so I only use the selection output option for things like mask painting, luminosity painting, and exposure blending. If I want the rapid mask to become a layer mask, I'll use the Layer or Apply buttons. The output from Layer and Apply is always a direct 16-bit to 16-bit operation. There is no intervening 8-bit selection. The last output function is Channel, and this just duplicates the current rapid mask on the Channels panel. For a complex mask made with the mask calculator and then painted, like this one, that's sometimes a good idea so the mask can be easily available again, if it's needed. The module provides the option to assign the mask a new name. I'll call this Orange Clouds. It's now possible to come back and use this mask again in the future if the Loom Lock and Rapid Mask channels have been used to generate different masks. So that's the basic top-to-bottom workflow for making and using masks with the RapidMask2 module. Source, mask, modify, and output. You just need to plan what you want to do with the image and then click the buttons on the panel to make the best mask for that purpose. There's a couple more features of the RapidMask2 module that are worth mentioning. The first is Layer Mask mode. It's accessed by clicking the Layer Mask checkbox at the top left of the module. This creates a colored border around the buttons and changes the layout slightly. In Layer Mask mode, there is no output section. That's because all masks and modifications are automatically applied as layer masks to the current active layer. I'll turn off the dodging layer and use the curves adjustment layer to demonstrate this. Watch what happens when I click the composite button. The Lights 1 mask automatically shows up as the layer mask on the active layer. You don't even see the mask as it's created. The Rapid Mask engine works in the background and automatically applies the rapid mask that was created to the active layer. Layer Mask mode is a way to test different masks as layer masks and judge their effect by looking at the image. This usually requires having a layer like this curves adjustment layer in place that actually changes the image. That way, as different masks get applied when I click buttons on the module, the image will change as the new layer masks reveal different tones in the image. Instead of this Lights 1 mask, I'll try Darks 1. Not sure. What about Darks 2? Not good. Midtones 1? That's a bit weak. Midtones 2. That's probably looking okay. The point here is that layer mask mode lets me cycle through different masks on a layer and find the best one. It's very fast because the RapidMask engine quickly generates and applies the masks in the background. I just need to use the module to try different masks and settle on the one I like best based on how the image looks. I could further modify this layer mask using the Modify section. But what I really think I want to do at this point is just paint black on the mask, probably at 100% opacity, so that again the mountains aren't affected by the adjustment. To help me be more precise with my painting, Layer Mask mode has a 2-up option that's turned on with this checkbox. From the buttons that appear, I'll click horizontal to view the layer mask and the image at the same time in horizontal windows. Then I'll resize the image to fit in the window and click the Match All button to size the images the same size in both windows. The upper image is the layer mask and the lower image is the composite image. Now when I paint with the black paintbrush, I can see both where I'm painting on the mask and how it affects the image at the same time. When I'm done, I uncheck the 2-up checkbox and close one of the windows. So there are several options available in Layer Mask mode. It provides yet another way to generate a custom mask with the RapidMask2 module in order to make targeted adjustments using masks and painting. The last thing I'll mention is the X button. It's essentially an escape key when making masks. Clicking it cleans all the masks created by the module off the Channels panel when they're no longer needed or when you just want to start over. Saved masks, however, are not deleted. These are masks you may want to keep for future use. It's a good idea to click the X button when you're finished using a particular mask and before saving the image to reduce file size. From a workflow standpoint, just remember to always work top to bottom when making masks. Clicking the source for each mask ensures that you don't work from the old masks on the Channels panel. Clicking a source button locks the most current image data into the Loom Lock channel as you make and experiment with different masks. Hopefully this brief overview will help you get started with the RapidMask2 module so that you can create and deploy a variety of pixel-based masks. For additional information, be sure to check out Sean Bagshaw's V6 video guide. It provides a more comprehensive look at this module and the rest of the V6 panel and has many more examples. If you do have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section or contact me using the contact form on my website.